Judy, is there anything that looks or smells better than me? I mean, an iris?
Ryan, there is one thing that looks better, and that's a new episode of Garden Time.
Welcome to Garden Time. I wish we had smell-o-vision because this Garden Time iris smells amazing.
And that's just one of the beautiful iris that you can get online at Shriner's Iris Gardens.
Coming up in the show today, we'll show you how they harvest turf.
We'll also be giving you an update about stink bugs.
But coming up first, how to garden in that parking strip.
Today I'm with Bonnie from the Regional Water Providers Consortium. And Bonnie, we usually talk to you about irrigating our lawns and saving water and gardening. But you had a kind of an interesting area, very difficult area to irrigate, and you really solved that problem. So what did you do right here in this parking strip?
Yeah, so parking strips, or some people call them health strips, are notoriously hard to water. And so what happens is we have sprinklers that overshoot into the street or the sidewalk, or they just go an ugly brown. Mine was an ugly brown. And so I decided that it would be great to plant this area with really heat and drought tolerant plants that would thrive in this area. So I still have a challenge to water, but I'm going to have a beautiful spot to replace that ugly brown grass.
It is, and it's so many interesting plants, and I know that you probably aren't finished. You're going to be adding to it. So talk about first these trees that you put in, because you had to take out 2 huge trees.
Yeah, so I had 2 liquid ambers, which are just notoriously known for dropping all sorts of stuff all throughout the season. So these are Persian ironwoods, and I actually asked 2 arborists what they would recommend for bright, dry, sunny spots that once established I wouldn't have to water. And they both recommended this type of tree, so I thought, why not go with what the pros recommend?
True, true. And when you picked out these trees, were there other considerations that you had to do?
Yeah, definitely. So these are located under some wires, so I needed to make sure that I was picking trees that are shorter in stature, and then I also needed to make sure that I was picking out trees that worked for the city's tree code as well. So those were 2 things. So there was another consideration that I had to think about as well, and that was I needed to call 811 before I dug so that I didn't hit anything underground as well. And so I made sure to do that. And that was another thing with these smaller plants. I wanted to make sure that I selected plants that I didn't need to dig down too deeply as well.
So what kind of perennials did you choose?
Yeah, so the little color spots that you're seeing right here, the red and the yellow, are helianthemum, and they bloom early in the season. And then I actually raided other parts of my garden for the rest of the plants. And so we've got autumn sedum, we've got some catmint, and then we've also got some California fuchsia. And so all of these are going to come alive at different parts of the season, and that was also really important to me. I want something that's visually interesting throughout the seasons. And you're right, I'm not quite done yet, but I want to see how these do, and then I'll add some more as we go, and probably add some more bulbs in the fall.
Oh, that'll be cool. So how do you water this really efficiently? I don't see any drip lines or anything, so what do you do?
Yes, so my plan is to put drip in this summer, but right now what I'm doing is spot watering. So I'm dragging my hose out here a couple times a week and giving them a really nice deep soak. And then my thought is when I have some time, I'm going to run a drip line that'll have a quick connect. And so again, I'll be able to deeply water our plants just a couple times a week.
That is good. And so then down the way, in the future, you might not have to do that at all, maybe just once a season in really hot weather?
That's really the hope. I'm really hoping that I picked the right plants, and I think I did, for this nice hot area, and that, once they're established, they're going to be able to just go gangbusters basically on their own.
And then some other tips that you can give to the viewers, like that you had to do when you prepared the soil. Anything special?
You know, I didn't prepare this soil much more than just adding bark chips at this point, you know, and so I think I'll feed them as needed, but I'm kind of doing this grand experiment to see what is the least amount that I actually can do to have a beautiful and healthy garden.
And I see that you have a lot of bark mulch on top, so I bet that keeps in the water, and I don't see one weed, so that's really nice too.
Yeah, it used to all be grass, and so, you know, every once in a while, about once a week, I just come along and just pull out some that are trying to volunteer, but other than that, yeah, it's one and done, hopefully.
Honey, this is really such a great addition to the front of your home. And really, if you need any other ideas about saving water, you can always go to, what is the website?
regionalh2o.org.
So thank you so much, and we'll probably be seeing you later in the season.
Wonderful. See you then.
Well, I'm here with Carol out at Adam and Peonies, and we keep getting all these people asking us about ants and peonies. Are we supposed to have ants? Are we not supposed to have ants? What are we supposed to know about ants and peonies?
Well, the plant sends food up to the bud to help it grow and develop, and it has a sugar substance in it. And so the ants are there for the sugar substance. They're kind of like kids. They're there when the sugar's there, and when it's gone, they're gone. They don't help the plant. They don't hinder the plant. They're just there for the sugar. And if you have a flower that you like to take in the house and you have ants in your garden, you can put some water in a bowl and slush the flower head in it, and the ants will float off, and you can successfully take your flower in the house without ants.
You know, so those are, you know, great tips on what to do about ants on your peonies. So, and other information, you know, you can always go to your website. It has a vast amount of information on how to grow peonies and how to care for them. So you can go to your website, or you can go over to gardentime.tv and we'll click you.
And ours is peonyparadise.com.
Color, color, color. When you think of your garden, think of color. Then think of Margies Farm and Garden. High quality plants and great customer service are our trademark.
Bring home some beautiful plants or vegetables to brighten your spring. Walk our wide aisles in safety or use our pickup service.
Vegetables or herbs, hanging baskets or perennials, trust Margies Farm and Garden, just off I-5 near Aurora.
Since 1926, the Baumans Company has worked with homeowners to make their homes and gardens beautiful. If you have a garden problem, Baumans has the answer. Repels All from Baumans works 3 ways through touch, taste, and smell with all natural ingredients, so you can enjoy the garden you dreamed of without unwanted visitors. Visit Baumans.com to find a local retailer and to download your free Baumans Problem Solver app for your iPhone or Droid.
Since 1987, French Prairie Gardens has brought you the best in farm fresh produce, beautiful plants, and memorable family events. Spring is here, and now is the time to get your garden ready with our wide selection of bedding plants and hanging baskets. Experience the best the country has to offer at French Prairie Gardens.
Well, I'm back out here with Ben from Shriner's Iris, you know, and you're holding this beautiful bouquet of cut flowers. So I'm assuming you can order these online or pick them up here, right?
Yes, yeah, so mail order, and then also available daily 9 to 3 p.m. in our parking lot.
Okay, so the fields are closed and they can order these flowers and people either pick them up or take them home. Once you get home, what are you doing? Is there care that you need to do with a cut iris?
Yeah, so the first thing you want to do when you get home with a bouquet is recut the stems at the bottom. And then you want to put them in cold water, and then in a vase, and you want to get them out of direct sunlight, so you don't want to put them like right in the window. And then the next thing is grooming. So you can kind of see here, this flower is blooming right now. In a couple days, it's going to fade. You're just going to want to pop it off like so, and give room for this bud to open.
Oh, nice.
Another thing you might want to note about, like especially varieties like this that are dark purple, Once the flower starts to fade, it can kind of drip and it can stain tablecloths. So you kind of want to watch that and snap them off before they
So
melt
it's
too
important
much.
to make sure you're removing those so they don't drip.
Right, and then also, like I said, just giving room for the other buds to open.
And about how long does the flowers last, or can you expect life out of these?
Yeah, so like if you keep it out of direct light and you keep grooming it, you're going to have a bouquet that'll last about a week.
Okay. And do you need to put any additives or anything in the water to promote that? Or
No, as long as you keep the water, fresh and cold, it'll be fine.
Okay. Well, that's great. Those are good tips for how to keep those iris blooming in a vase in the house and enjoy them for a week. So, for any other information or to order them, you can go to Shriner's website, or you can go to their Facebook page for information, or you can go to gardentime.tv and we'll click you over. So, Ben, appreciate being with you.
Thanks for having me.
Garden Time's Incredible Edibles.
Well, I think as gardeners, we all love to grow berries and we love to eat berries. And so it is the time to plant them. So I am at Al's and I'm with Peter Eastman. And Peter, I think that we just want to put our gardens into fruit production. So you can help us with that.
Yes, absolutely. So I think we have over 20 varieties of blueberries. Plus we've got lots of other caneberries, raspberries, blackberries. We have a variety for really anyone's needs.
And tastes.
And tastes. So if you've got a large garden, the secret with blueberries is usually you want to plant 3 or 4 varieties. Our number 1 variety is probably Chandler.
Oh.
It's a big berry.
Oh my gosh.
Juicy, sweet,
Yum.
loads of fruit. But if you're in a small apartment or all you have in a balcony, we have a blueberry for you too.
Is that this
And
one?
That's this one here. This is Perpetua. It's from the Bushel and Berry series, and it's meant to grow in a pot its whole life. Even though it's a small plant, look at those loads of flowers. You're going to get loads of fruit, and they're a large size berry, just like the bigger bush. It's called Perpetua because you actually get 2 crops of berries. So you're going to get a crop in July, and then you're going to get a crop in September.
That is cool. So really, I don't need a big backyard. If I do, I can put a bigger one in,
Right,
or
absolutely.
the bigger ones. But then there's smaller ones for everyone that has patios or decks.
Exactly. And in the caneberries too, in raspberries, probably our number 1 new raspberry is called Vintage Red. It's a little later to get going, but it will give you raspberries all the way into the fall, which a lot of people ask about.
Yeah.
If you're into canning and you want, or jams and jelly production, and you want berries kind of all at once, big heavy crop, we have those varieties as well.
Sure.
Cambu, Willamette are a couple of really good standbys. And a lot of people ask about trellising. Do I need big trellises? Do I need a big spot? But it's not necessarily the case. There's, in some cases, like in the blackberries, we have Triple Crown. It was developed at Oregon State University,
That's
right here
cool.
locally.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it is freestanding, needs no trellis. It's also thornless. And it gives you a nice, big, juicy yields of blackberries.
And that's fun if you have children or people that are just like, I don't want to have any stickers when I go pick my berries. That's really a good choice.
Right, absolutely.
Very nice. And then there's this other one by my feet here. And what's with this one?
Well, that is a dwarf blackberry. It's always been hard to grow blackberry if you don't have a lot of room. Baby Cakes is meant to grow in a container, to stay in a container its whole life.
Whoa.
And you get nice big crops of blackberries in a container. So again, if you've only got a patio, you're in a condo, you've just got a deck,
Right.
you can grow blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries.
And so some tips for us for in the ground or in a pot. So what we should be doing, where should we put these?
Now that they're leafing out, they're getting ready to flower, now's the time to fertilize.
Oh, okay.
We recommend the Spoma family of fertilizers, which we sell here at Al's Garden Center. They're all organic. This is Berrytone here.
Oh.
It's an acid-based fertilizer, which the berries love. It's 5% sulfur, so it'll bring that pH down. So you're not only feeding your plants, but you're getting to the pH in the soil to where they want it to be. They offer a whole complement of fertilizers to fit each different type of plants. Tomatoes, there's a tomato tone. We've got berry tone, there's a citrus tone, so
Just for everything.
For everything. It's real easy. It'll say it on the front of the package, come into Al's and ask the Al's experts, and we'll get you the right Spoma product. They're all organic, so it makes them naturally slow release.
Right, and I've heard as a great kind of tip about it is that their 90th anniversary of being in business. So really, they know fertilizer.
They know fertilizer, absolutely, and we love it to death. We recommend it to everybody. for their fertilizing needs for their plants.
Well, perfect. Well, you know, there's 4 L's all around the city, all around Portland area that you can go to and get some berries into your garden and ask the L's experts if any questions. Thanks so much, Peter.
Oh, you're welcome.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Portland Nursery, where spring is our favorite time of year. It's the time to prepare your garden for planting. We invite you to get a jump on spring with our huge selection. Let Portland Nursery's staff of professionals help with groceries you can grow. We've got the seeds, veggie starts, and expertise to ensure your success. Visit portlandnursery.com for a list of classes and special events. Portland Nursery, helping make your backyard your favorite destination at 50th and Stark and 90th and Division.
Since 1982, the Wall has been making local gardens beautiful, naturally. Whether you need a new wall, concrete patio, fire pit, or driveway, the Wall's expert craftsmen can build it. We back up our work with a 5-year warranty, so you'll know it'll last. We use the highest quality materials, including stamped colored concrete, natural stone, and we're the leader in using recycled concrete. Create an outdoor environment you'll enjoy for years, with the help of your friends at The Wall.
At Garland Nursery, you'll find
top quality plants,
4 generations of garden know-how,
fun and fantastic garden decor,
and the best in garden supplies.
Come visit us at Garland Nursery.
Since 1937, inspiring beautiful and bountiful gardens.
Have you ever seen rolls of sod like this and wondered where the heck do they come from? Well, I'm with Tom Darmon, and you're with Oregon Turf and Tree Farms, and you know they're a local grower of sod. So when did your family get into this?
We got into sod probably in the early 70s, late 60s.
But before that, you were seed farmers. You were grass seed farmers.
Grass seed farmers, we were.
And then how did the sod start? Because it's pretty nice. This is instant. I mean, we've all put lawns in, or many of us have put lawns in with seed, and it takes a little bit of time, but man, sod is the next day. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Sod came to the West Coast through Hollywood. There was sod on the East Coast, and grass seed here, of course. It was always a luxury, and Hollywood saw it, and they wanted it for some of the sets, the movie sets, and talked to a produce farmer in Southern California to grow on sod, a couple acres. And then it turned into CalTurf, a big company.
Ah, and so your family kind of saw that happening. It's like, well, maybe we should try that too.
Yeah, we were selling grass seed, always looking to diversify a little bit. So we put a few acres of sod in, and it's growing. People want instant landscape.
Sure, sure. And so you're third generation. Mm-hmm. And then, so you have, how many acres do you have in sod here?
We've got about 500 acres in sod. That varies from time to time.
Wow, wow. And then the other part is the trees.
Shade
so that's
trees.
Another story for another time.
Right.
So how long does it take? Like from when you plant it and then to harvest and?
So we try to fall plant. So if we fall plant in early October, late September, we'll have sod ready as soon as late May.
Wow.
May, June.
Wow, that
for the summer demand.
Ah, that is nice. And then tell us a little bit about these different kinds, because you have 3 different kinds of turf here.
Yeah, this is tall fescue. This is a little more drought tolerant. It stands up to traffic pretty well. It's got a great root system. It comes back quickly. This is TWGCA certified, Turfgrass Water Conservation Alliance certified. So it's 30% more drought tolerant than its peers. This is our prettier ryegrass. It's a little finer textured. It's kind of the choice if you've got small kids. It's a good choice for pets.
Softer.
It's a little, softer, finer textured. That's kind of the norm. This is what's around golf courses and parks right now.
All right.
And then we've got a sand-based sod. So this is grown on imported sand from the dredged Columbia River sand. We brought in about 15,000 acres, 15,000 tons, and we're growing on 8 acres. We brought in about a 12-inch profile, and it's mainly for sports fields, golf courses.
Drains well.
It drains well,
Takes
right?
the abuse.
Yeah, exactly.
That is cool. And so, I think we all love sod, but we really love to see the process of it, of the harvest. So we're going to go over and actually see the harvester out in the field. So let's go.
Let's go.
Tom, this is just too fascinating to see this sod harvester, a massive machine. So about how much can they do in an hour? Is that how you time it?
Yeah, the sod harvester can harvest up to 10,000 square feet in an hour under ideal conditions.
Right,
Today's
right.
not ideal, obviously.
Right, right. But so it cuts it, it rolls it, and it stacks it on a pallet and then drops it.
Yes.
That is just amazing. And so I can call your office and come and pick up some sod or have it delivered, but I can't really install it that day.
Right, right. We recommend removing your existing lawn, rototilling 2 or 3 inches, adding some amendment. A 3-way amendment works well, kind of a 3-way soil, and then tilling that in, retruing the surface, leveling it, and then the sod would go in.
And then are there tips? You have like a pamphlet or on your website so you can have some extra help there?
We do. OregonLawn.com. We've got on our website, OregonLawn.com. We've got quite a bit of information on that site.
And then how do we get in touch with it? How do we order?
Call our office direct at 503-981-TURF,
okay.
Or go to OregonLawn.com.
And you can even come out here to pick it up. I mean, they're right near Hubbard, so right in our area. So really, if you have any questions, please go to gardentime.tv and we can click you over to their website and get all that information and really have an instant lawn as soon as possible. Thanks so much. It's just fascinating.
Yeah, thanks.
Now that our spring bulbs have died down and the foliage is kind of starting to disappear, we want to mark where those bulbs are for the summertime, because how many times have we been in there and dug up in our yard to plant something in the summer and up comes a bunch of bulbs. So our good tip is to take a rock, write on the rock what it is that's planted underneath it. You can just set that rock in your garden and now you know where your bulbs are for next year. And that is our tip of the week.
This week's plant pick is brought to you by Little Prince. Our plants won't croak.
At Sagawa Nursery, we always talk about taking your garden from ordinary to extraordinary. For us, that means bringing you the newest and best plants and unique garden items to you, our customer. For you, that means we'll help you transform your garden into something that's extraordinary. We also have some great gift items and even a few surprises for inside your home too. Sagawa Nursery, growing beyond the ordinary.
For over 100 years, Collier Arbor Care and Bartlett Tree Experts have provided tree and shrub care services to the Portland metropolitan area.
From large tree and small shrub pruning, tree removal, and stump grinding, we can handle all your tree care needs.
Our arborists diagnose and treat your toughest insect and disease problems.
We also have organic solutions for growing and maintaining healthy gardens, as well as organic nutrition for your trees and shrubs.
Collier and Bartlett, environmentally friendly since 1907.
For 90 years, Espoma has one guiding principle: develop the finest organic gardening products that work in harmony with nature, grow beautiful gardens, and make a greener world for the future. From our soil products to our plant foods, we have always been committed to the environment and sustainability. We use a vast array of natural and organic ingredients and package them in our 100% solar-powered plant. Look for the quality line of Espoma products at your local independent garden center. Espoma, organic from the beginning.
No matter what shade your green thumb is, you can find the plants and the help you need at Wavra Farms. We're filled with an astounding array of colorful plants to fill your garden. In addition to wonderful annuals and perennials, we are known for our hanging baskets. We also have all your garden essentials, and we have great garden gifts too. From beginner to expert, you'll find something new and different with every visit. Wavra Farms, located off Highway 22, Exit 5, east of Salem.
So now that we're getting towards the end of when our rhododendron plants are finished blooming, one thing we want to go to is kind of deadhead the rhodie. What this does, you can go and just snap this bloom off, and what that will do is it will help the plant kind of rejuvenate and flush its new growth for next year and get ready to set its new buds. The other thing is after it starts to set this new growth, and if you want to control the height of the plant without letting it get bigger, you can also break off this new growth, and what that will do is it will keep the plant this size without it getting any bigger. But this is kind of the time where you want to do that after it's done blooming, because come this summer it's going to start setting its bloom buds for next year.
But if you really want to reduce the size of the rhododendron, you can really go back several feet, like 2 or 3 feet. You'll reduce the space, but you will not have any flowers next year. It won't kill the plant, but you will keep it in bounds for where you have it in your garden. You know, these are just a couple tips to do now with your rhododendrons.
Well, with many of our vacation plans canceled for this summer and thinking of those tropical places, I'm here with Mike out at Little Prince. Today we're going to be talking about some of the amazing tropical plants that you can be growing in our yards at home. So Mike, what do we have up here today?
Well, we have a whole bunch of different selections here, anything from truly hardy to semi-hardy with some protection, all the way to just your typical annual planting.
Now we have a large one here. What is this guy here?
That is Dicksonia antarctica, and it's one of the hardiest tree ferns. The fronds will start taking damage at about 20 degrees. It's truly hardy to about 15, but below that it will die. But I have several of these in my house. I've had them for 5-6 years now. I do spend some time in the fall and wrap them, but they've taken our snowpocalypse times and our deep freezes and everything like that, and they've come back every year. So.
Now some of the other ones that may come back that you'll see that get your tropical are like some of the hardy bananas, right?
Yeah, that's a truly very, very hardy banana. Definitely stem hardy all the way into the 20s, and it'll come back from the ground at probably down to 0 degrees.
And so then you could wrap the trunks and insulate the trunks, and it'll still stay up.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to put some time in the fall and just make sure, wrap the trunk up and it'll survive and come back very good the next year.
And then there are some other bananas that have different colored leaves. Like this one has the spotting on it. Is this one as hardy, or is it?
No, unfortunately, a super cool tropical looking banana, but not going to be hardy for you, even with protection.
And then if you like this red coloring, there are things that you can do to have this big kind of bold leaf, and that'd be going into like a canna lily, right?
Yeah, this is Canna australis, and it's hardy to at least zone 7. It's come back for me every year in our garden as well. Definitely adds a nice tropical look, as well as the other Canna here, Cleopatra, which has the red streaking in its leaves.
And those will get blooms on them, and they multiply, right?
Yeah, they do multiply by rhizomes underground. So you got to watch out for too wet of conditions in the winter. They can rot out, but they do like a lot of water in the summer. Though, so.
And then there are some, if you're looking for some of the different like leaf colors or stems, some of these, alocasias or colocaceas, right? That are like this guy here is called. Which one is this?
It's illustrious.
Illustrious?
Right there. Yeah, there's hundreds of varieties of the colocaceae available out there. All kinds of leaf colors and shapes and sizes, and really nice for a tropical look. And some are actually quite hardy, and others not so much.
Right. So, and then if they're hardy, are they going to stay up in the wintertime, or they tend to die down and come back?
They'll die down to the ground, and they're somewhat late emerging in the springtime as well. They need some heat and warmth to come back about.
So if some were to plant some of these in pots and containers, it looks like you have this is a big planter over here that you've had wintered over. What is some of the care that a homeowner would need to do if they wanted to have some of these plants come back year after year?
Well, this one is something that I planted last year at my house, and I'm fortunate as being a grower, I have a nice warm greenhouse I can bring it to every winter to overwinter it. But most of this stuff just really needs minimal protection. If you can have some area that just stays, right around freezing to slightly above freezing, you get this thing to overwinter, and then in the springtime when temperatures warm up, you can put it back outside. And they need lots of fertilizer. Definitely don't ever let them dry out in the summertime either.
Right, because they're getting big. I mean,
yeah, you have a lot of plant material in a container right here, so definitely almost every day in the summertime when it's hot.
Now, is it something that somebody could bring into like a garage or a basement area to overwinter? if they're just trying to keep it from freezing, or is it better to have more of a greenhouse situation?
Yeah, more of a greenhouse. Sometimes the garage situations are just a little too dark. It depends. If you had a well-lit garage, you may be able to do something like that. But a cold frame greenhouse would be ideal for it.
Or like if you had like the big tree fern or some of these bananas out that are planted in the yard, do you wrap the trunks and insulate them in them that way?
Yeah, that's all. They just rapid foam insulation. You know, we want something that can get wet, obviously. Right. But you just wrap the trunk all the way up, and for like a tree fern, we just pull all the fronds up together and wrap all the fronds too. But that can recover with no fronds left on it. But the banana, you just let all the leaves die on the banana and just wrap the trunk, and
it comes right back up.
Comes back in the next year. Yeah.
So if you want more information, go to Little Prince website, or you can go to gardentime.tv and we'll click you over.
Find everything you need for spring at Al's Garden and Home.
Peonies, bold and beautiful, an old favorite but ever new, and perfect for your garden. At Adelman Peonies, you'll find hundreds of different peonies, bush, ito, and tree peonies covering 20 acres. Come stroll the display garden, then find a special plant or bouquet to take home. Join us any day of the week for beautiful color or weekends for special events. Adelman Peonies is just east of I-5 at exit 263 on Brook Lake Road, or online at peonyparadise.com.
Dram is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. Dram products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. Dram for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
Look around your home's exterior. Those ugly orange, green, and black algae stains look terrible. Clean them the easy way with 30 Seconds Outdoor Cleaner. It's fast and works on all outdoor surfaces. With 30 seconds, it's clean when you want it clean.
Nestled in the oaks of the Willamette Valley is a nursery that is truly exceptional. At Out in the Garden Nursery, you will find a vast array of shade plants, ornamental grasses, and hardy perennials. Let us help you bring color and texture into your garden. We offer over 100 types of perennials. Many of our plants are evergreen for year-round interest. Plus, we offer the best in personal attention. Out in the Garden Nursery, where we grow great gardens one plant at a time.
Well, after the winter we've had, it is great to see color, especially in our garden. I'm with Margie at Margie's Farm and Garden in Aurora, and she has picked out favorites that we're going to talk about today. You really have some beautiful favorites.
Oh, thank you so much, Judy.
So what are we going to start with?
Our first favorite here is our new Be Alive Bittens. These are fantastic. The coloring is just beautiful with the orange and the yellow.
And how do we use these?
These are great for full sun. They are great in containers.
Are they going to trail a lot?
They're mainly upright. They're not quite as vigorous as the yellow bittens that you're used to seeing. But more of a semi-trailer for the full sun. You don't have to worry about deadheading them. They'll just keep reblooming on their own.
That's really nice because I'm too lazy to do that.
Nobody likes that.
And what about these impatiens? These flowers are huge.
Oh my gosh, my next favorite are sun impatiens. These are fantastic. We have 10 different colors of them. From the orange, magenta, we have white, reds, and all different shades in between.
And really in the sun?
Really, they do well in the full hot sun. And no cleaning on them necessary to keep them blooming again. And they actually get a little taller. They're about 18 to 20 inches, with some of the varieties getting about 30 inches tall. So they're a great use. Mixing all the colors is just beautiful.
It looks like it. And then I love these little kind of tubular flowers. What's this one?
Oh my gosh, Vermillionaire is always one of my favorites. These are fantastic. The hummingbird's #1 plant in our greenhouse. Every day the hummingbirds are all over these guys. As you can tell by the flower, shape is just perfect for a hummingbird. These are great full sun. They work really good in containers. They work really well in the ground also. About 18 to 28 inches is the height. So they're just fantastic.
Yeah, that is a nice height. And then these are such beautiful colors.
Oh, Borrelia. This is definitely one of my favorites because I love the color. This periwinkle color is just beautiful. And you don't see this color much on flowers, so it's great. These are for the shade. so they can do well in morning sun, but they need the afternoon shade. A semi-trailer, so they're great in containers, baskets, and they bloom fabulous until frost.
And I love that there's white too, because I just love white in the shade.
White in the shade is just really great. It really pops against the dark colors.
Nice. And then this texture is this crazy little grass.
Oh, fiber optic grass. We absolutely love our fiber optic grass because it looks like fiber optics. This is great. It can go in the ground. It goes in containers. It can also go in your pond. It's a great water plant and loves the water. And we use it in containers a lot, not for the full hot afternoon sun.
Okay.
It does better in more shaded conditions.
Oh, that
and
is
if it gets too long, you just take scissors and you can cut it off because you have lots of new growth coming on with the fiber optics coming.
That is fun. Oh, I love that one. And then this is a beautiful yellow flower.
Oh my gosh, San Vitalia. This is absolutely one of my favorites also, with the darker foliage with the yellow. Again, a semi-trailer for the sun. It blooms fabulous until late frost. It just keeps going. No cleaning necessary on it. It just blooms great all on its own. Semi-trailing and great in the sun.
Wonderful. And then I've never seen a sweet potato vine trained up. And what a great idea, because we usually see them hanging down.
Yes, we do. This is a solar tower black. This is brand new this year. And it is just fantastic. It'll grow at least 8 to 10 feet tall in 1 year. It's very vigorous. So it would love like a trellis to climb up. If you have like a 10 by 10 canopy tent, it'll climb up along the legs of it. Beautiful with other vines mixed in it with also. This does not bloom, but beautiful foliage.
Right, beautiful. And then you have dahlias, which it's early in the season, but there's dahlias.
Oh, I do have some beautiful dahlias here. We grow quite a few different varieties of dahlias. They're blooming now, which is great. They'll bloom all summer long until frost. They do well in containers or in the ground. A little deadheading on those to keep them blooming, but they are just fabulous.
They are nice. And then, you know what I love here too is there's so many ideas in their containers. So, you know, you can be creative on your own, but you make beautiful containers too right here.
Oh, thank you very much. We love using all of, especially our favorites in specialty containers. They make great gifts, grab and go, or to give people ideas of how to use plants.
Yeah, that is true. Do you have any just general tips for all these lovely annuals here?
Oh yes, generally just water and fertilizer will just keep them blooming great all summer, and we can help you with all that when they stop by.
And you really can hear it from Margie herself. You have to come out to Margie's Farm and Garden. They have beautiful annuals, perennials, and come out and get some summer containers for yourself. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you, Judy.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
So for the parts of your life that just can't stop, it's essential to keep moving forward safely. And now it's easier than ever to own a brand new Subaru from Capital. Not only can you shop hundreds of Subarus online and get questions answered instantly, but now you can test drive, finance, and even complete your purchase all from the comfort of your home. So keep planning for the future. We'll be here to help make the road ahead just a little bit smoother. Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Find everything you need for spring at Al's Garden and Home.
Since 1929, Grimm's Fuel has powered great gardens around our area. With our comprehensive composting and yard debris services, we can apply quality garden mulch, compost, and blended soils with our experienced crews and trucks, including our landscape rock and bark products as well. We are proud of our industry-leading state-of-the-art composting facilities. We also can take care of your fuel oil and firewood needs. Grimm's Fuel, building great gardens since 1929.
Look around your home's exterior. Those ugly orange, green, and black algae stains look terrible. Clean them the easy way with 30 Seconds Outdoor Cleaner. It's fast and works on all outdoor surfaces. With 30 seconds, it's clean when you want it clean.
Spring is all about freshness, and you can't get any fresher than Blooming Junction. From new and interesting annuals and perennials that can bring fresh color to your garden to the freshest of produce from our fields and from local growers. We can also help you be successful with our full slate of timely and helpful classes. Freshen up your home and garden, inside and out, with a visit to Blooming Junction. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens and great tasting food for your table.
I am at Terra Gardens in Salem with Tom from Baumans. And Tom, you know, everything's blooming, everything's growing, but sometimes we have some problems with things called suckers. So if you can explain what that is, and then you have a product to help get rid of them.
You say sometimes? Really? I think that's more than sometimes. But we do have a lot of suckers that appear, and that could be from a flowering ornamental, lilac, flowering cherry, flowering plum. And we've got a product called Sucker Punch. Name kind of says it all. It's very easy to use. It's an 8-ounce bottle, and it has what we call a dauber cap. Or maybe a better way to say it would be a paint-on cap.
Oh, sure.
So beneath the cap is a brush. And the way this works is anywhere the sucker node starts to appear, again at the base of a lilac or a flowering ornamental, you can simply just paint this on, and it doesn't take a lot, just paint it on, nice consistent flow like you were maybe a brush stroke on a wall. And it'll send a signal to that sucker to stop growing. Now what's unique about this is it doesn't move and go back to the host plant. So it only stops that sucker from further growing.
Wow, and it takes energy from the main plant, so really you want to get rid of those.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you cut them, they'll just come back.
They will come back, and they usually come back in 2s, 3s, and 4s.
Oh, man.
So, so you don't necessarily need to make a prune with this. You can just paint it onto that sucker as it appears. And not only from the base of the plant, but you know, lilacs can send runners out into the lawn, and if it pops up in the lawn, go ahead and paint it on out there.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
wow. And then what about mid-season? Because I've noticed, especially fruit trees, you get those straight branches that have no fruit, and they're just green and taking energy. So what do you do then?
Well, those are called water shoots, and behind us is a apple tree that's in full bloom. But come June or around the 4th of July, it will start to send up those water shoots like you explained. And they're non-fruit producing. They go anywhere from 3 to 4 feet in length, and they'll do that in a matter of months. And they're very unsightly. Like I said, they're non-fruit producing, so we do want to remove them. And unless you have very strong hands and you like to do a lot of pruning, you can again use this and simply just paint it on to that water shoot, and it'll stop it from growing but not harm our apple tree.
Wow, and really that helps so much, and it is a lot less pruning.
Yeah, very easy on the hands.
If you have any other questions about that, please go to Garden Time. We'll click you over to the Baumans site, or you can come out to Terra Gardens right here in Salem and ask their staff for more information. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
What a beautiful morning to be in Northeast Portland. I'm at Margaret's Greenhouse and Nursery with Larry. And Larry, what a beautiful place you have.
Thank you. We've been here 90 years.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And we are surrounded by a sea of geraniums. About how many do you grow?
Right now we grow about 8,000 from cuttings.
Wow, wow, that's a beautiful process. You guys have it down. So tell us about some of the varieties that you do grow. They're just gorgeous.
Well, this is our geranium greenhouse, and we brought together a few of the most popular ones. Naturally, red is always the top seller. We grow probably about 25% red, and along with red, hot pink is very popular. Also, these variegated leaf geraniums are very popular with customers in mixed planters. They really pop, even if they're not blooming. They have the pretty variegated foliage. Once again, if you want something that's more functional than beautiful, then we have scented geraniums. And so this is a lime scented geranium, this is a chocolate mint scented geranium, and this is a citronella scented geranium, which actually repels mosquitoes. So you put that on your patio and sit around at nighttime, brush the foliage, and it repels mosquitoes.
And so it's the foliage that is fragrant, not the flowers.
Exactly. They do bloom, but the blooms are kind of insignificant.
So not as showy as like some of these red ones. They're
No,
just gorgeous.
they're not.
And so you do have so many different colors. I'm seeing maybe 10, 12 different colors, so something really for everyone. And can you give us some maybe tips for the home gardener, what we should be doing to keep them so beautiful?
When people buy them out of the greenhouses, they've been in this nice controlled environment. So once they go outside in the real world, then they have to fight for themselves a little bit more. So you have to remember to fertilize and water. We like to use like a slow release fertilizer such as Osmocote. That's very, very convenient for most customers. And naturally watering, when a plant needs water, you need to water it. But you don't want to overwater geraniums because they tend to be a little bit better on the dry side.
Okay.
So in a pot, they're going to dry a little bit more in the ground. So people ask, how much should I water? Well, it's kind of left to where you have the plant and what the days are like.
And so full sun?
Full sun is their best place, but they can take some shade.
Well, those are really great tips because we always need those to take care of our geraniums, but I want to go see those special ones. So let's go over to that other greenhouse.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. Larry, you do fantastic baskets. So what variety is this one?
This is the standard ivy geranium.
So a cascading one.
It's a cascading type. The leaves are a little more waxy than the zonal geraniums. So Mother's Day was yesterday and we sold quite a few of these. These are very good for the full sun area. You have, this is a rose color and a lavender color. Now one thing I want to mention, maintenance on geraniums, you get a bad flower, you always just come in here and you take the stem down to the main stem. So if you break it down, it usually breaks off very easily.
Oh, perfect.
So that's how, and you need to do that on a continual basis to keep the plant looking well groomed.
And let's look at some other ones over here. And what are these?
So here's some more examples of baskets. This is a calliope. A calliope is a cross between an ivy geranium and an upright geranium. So what they did was they crossed it, and so this plant has a tendency to grow sideways. So over time it comes down, and so this plant is a very good plant because it's, and I should say these are all sterile, so they don't set seed at all. They're called tetraploids.
And they'll keep blooming really heavily. And then this one's unusual. I love the foliage.
This one we call the Swiss geranium. It also goes by the name Cascade geranium. You go to Europe, they put them all over the place. They make small blooms, but they're very floriferous. In July and August, September, they're just covered with flowers.
Oh, beautiful. And then this is amazing. So you do tree geraniums. I know that takes an incredible long time. They're just amazing growers here.
Here's an example of just a novelty plant that we grow a few of. I don't have any more to sell this year, but we grow a few every year. So this is a red one. This is about 5 years old. And so at the end of the season, we could bring it in the greenhouse to overwinter. And most of these geraniums will not live outside throughout the winter.
No, but really something really to see. What a showstopper in a garden. So put your order in for next year. You have to come out to Margaret's, meet Larry, and you got to talk to Ernie. He's wonderful. He's 90 years old, and he's at the cash register and just a gem of a guy.
He'll tell you some stories.
Thanks so much. It's lovely.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
DRAM is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. DRAM products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. DRAM for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
Create a beautiful living space both inside and out with the help of Terracotta.
Outside, you'll find pottery, fountains, and decor to make your garden unforgettable.
And inside, there are home furnishings and just the right accents to make your home warm, inviting, and most importantly, comfortable.
Terracotta has a huge selection of merchandise to fit any home or budget. Plus, we still have all the unique and distinctive gifts that you have come to expect from Terracotta.
Terracotta in downtown Damascus.
For 95 years and 4 generations, Shriners Gardens has been hybridizing and growing award-winning iris. With the largest selection available, Shriners Gardens online catalog hosts hundreds of varieties from classic bearded iris, reblooming and fragrant iris, dwarf iris, and more. Also available online, hybrid daylilies. Shriners Gardens, bringing a rainbow of color to gardens everywhere since 1935. Online at shrinersgardens.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Brian Bauman from Bauman's Farm and Garden, and this is one of my favorite times of the year. I have been working for a year trying to find brand new plants that I want to share with you. And let me tell you, this year does not disappoint. I have here a whole collection of brand new introductions for 2020 that I wanted to share. First, let's head on over to this beautiful blue hanging basket. Bauman Farms is known for our hanging baskets, but this one is a little bit different. This is a new type of cascading blueberry. There's 2 different kinds. This particular one is called Sapphire Cascade, and there's Midnight Cascade. These plants will actually continue to fill out the basket, hang down, and have wonderful blueberries, delicious blueberries hanging down from the side. So, especially for places where you may not have a pot or a room in the garden to put blueberries, you can just simply hang this up on your front porch, go outside, and pick delicious blueberries during the summertime. Brand new for 2020. Osteosperums are always one of my favorite flowers, and this one is called Purple Sun. What a beautiful contrast between the orange on the outside and the purple on the inside. This baby will bloom all summer long. Talk about a great way to add color into your pots on your patio. Begonias have always kind of had a special place in my heart. I always like finding new varieties, And these particular varieties below me here are a case of something old that's new again. This is a brand new class of begonias called Amera hybrids. And let me tell you, the size of these blossoms will actually get to be almost a full foot across. Comes in a wide range of colors. These have been in development for years, but 2020 is the first year that you can be able to get them. We'll have these available throughout the summer at Bauman Farms. Dahlias, I don't know, they bring me back to my childhood. As a kid, my mom always had dahlias in her garden. It was one of her favorite flowers for cut, and they just kept going all summer long. This is a brand new dahlia called Tequila Sunrise. Beautiful orange color, and one of the things that I really like about it is the blossoms really stand up high against the foliage, so you can actually use it as a cut or just enjoy the blossoms all summer long. Finally, this is a brand new geranium that we have at Bauman Farms, and this one is called Cherry Bicolor. And the contrast between the pink and the white really makes this flower stand out. Whether you're using it in baskets, pots, or in your flower beds, I think this is going to be a winner for summer of 2020. When you get a chance, come on out to Bauman Farms. We're going to be open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5 throughout the summer. We can't wait to share all of these new introductions with you.
I am at OSU this morning in Corvallis with Dr. David Lowenstein, and so today we're going to talk about a pest, and a couple years ago we did talk to someone else about it, and it's the brown marmorated stink bug. And so what do you call it?
BMSB.
A little bit easier to kind of reference it.
Yep, save some breath.
Yeah, and so what is your research project? What's going on with that these days?
Yeah, I work with biological control. That's the use of beneficial insects to manage other insects. So the insect I work with is called the samurai wasp. It's native to the same region as brown marmorated stink bug, and it is a small egg parasitoid. So it lays its eggs inside of stink bug eggs, preventing the stink bugs from hatching, and instead of 28 or so stink bugs, you get 28 wasps popping out of it.
That is so cool. So really there is some hope to kind of control this, because it is a damaging insect to some of the crops that we grow here in Oregon.
Yeah, we think that this is a good opportunity to try to manage BMSB using less insecticides because of this specialism between the samurai wasp and BMSB. They're from the same parts of Eastern Asia. They've made their way at different times to Oregon, Washington, other parts of the US, and we hope that they continue that specialist relationship from Asia here in the US.
So what kind of damage does the stink bug do to commercial crops?
Yeah, the stink bug can damage a variety of crops. Usually orchard crops, things like hazelnuts, apples, cherries. It can cause direct damage to the fruit with its piercing, sucking mouth part. So you might notice a hole on the outside of it, and when you peel back that skin, at least for apples and cherries, you'll notice a brown circle beneath it. Vegetables can also be damaged by BMSB. We get people who tell us about their peppers or their beans that are damaged by stink bugs, and you'll see these miscolored circles on them. Often you'll find the stink bug actually feeding on it, but there's not. The question is more, what do they not feed on?
And so could we actually see this happening? Could we observe that in our own gardens?
Absolutely. Stink bugs, they lay eggs beneath the foliage of trees. Usually it's about 25 to 28 egg masses. Just take a look under a leaf if you might notice them. They're bright green, and ordinarily they'll hatch after a few days into little stink bugs, but you might notice a samurai wasp. If you see a tiny little speck staying on top of the eggs, that'd be the wasp. After it lays its eggs, it guards them for a few days. About a week later, those eggs turn a dark black color, and 1 to 2 more weeks later, wasps will pop out of them.
And so be able to be more predators to more stink bugs.
Exactly.
That is so. And if we're worried about getting bit by these wasps, really they're so tiny, you're not going to have any kind of worry about that.
No, they can't pierce skin. We're talking 1.5 millimeters. Nothing. There's no way you're going to confuse this with the yellow jacket. And they're not interested in stinging people. They just want stink bug eggs.
Just to kind of go on with their own prodigy.
Exactly. They need stink bug eggs to reproduce, and they also might use nectar from flowers for energy.
So really good pollinators too.
Yep, what you
Excellent.
have that's good for pollinators in your garden might be good for stink bug parasitoids like the samurai wasp as well.
Excellent. Well, great. We're all into that. That's really something important for all of us gardeners too. So what can we do to help? Can we be helpful researchers for you?
So we need your help in finding the samurai wasp. We know that it's in Portland. We know that it's making its way around the Willamette Valley. It's also in Vancouver, Washington, and we've started releasing the wasp in a couple places around the state. But this is a microscopic insect. It's pretty hard for us to find out where it is. So we could use the public's help in helping us locate where this wasp is moving. So one way to do that is if you spot BMSB eggs in your trees, before you get rid of them, wait a few days and come back and see what happens to them. Is there a little wasp that's guarding them? Have the eggs turned dark black? So if it's less than a week later and you see stinkbug nymphs emerging, it's not parasitized, do whatever you want with those eggs.
Right.
But if you see a wasp on it or you see those eggs turn a dark black color, save the eggs. Either leave them on the tree, wait and see what happens, or just take the leaf off, put it in a jar, keep it near sunlight, and if wasps come out of that, that's a really good sign. You might have a samurai wasp. So let OSU Extension know about that find, and it'll come back to us at Oregon State University. We can confirm if it's the right species and find out if the samurai wasp is in your garden or in your neighborhood.
Well, it's be so much fun to kind of help, and it's so important because, you know, the researchers can't be everywhere. So we're going to have all that information on the Garden Time website, and you can also help in all of this research with the samurai wasp. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Interesting. We want to thank you for watching Garden Time today, and we want to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day.
Memorial Day is a great time to be in your garden and enjoy your irises and your peonies.
For more information about today's show, please go to gardentime.tv.
We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on Garden Time.
Create a beautiful living space both inside and out with the help of Terracotta.
Outside, you'll find pottery, fountains, and decor to make your garden unforgettable.
And inside there are home furnishings and just the right accents to make your home warm, inviting, and most importantly, comfortable.
Terracotta has a huge selection of merchandise to fit any home or budget. Plus, we still have all the unique and distinctive gifts that you have come to expect from Terracotta.
Terracotta in downtown Damascus.
For 95 years and 4 generations, Shriners Gardens has been hybridizing and growing award-winning iris. With the largest selection available, Shriners Gardens' online catalog hosts hundreds of varieties from classic bearded iris, reblooming and fragrant iris, dwarf iris, and more. Also available online, hybrid daylilies. Shriners Gardens, bringing a rainbow of color to gardens everywhere since 1935. Online at shrinersgardens.com.
Look around your home's exterior. Those ugly orange, green, and black algae stains look terrible. Clean them the easy way with 30 Seconds Outdoor Cleaner. It's fast and works on all outdoor surfaces. With 30 seconds, it's clean when you want it clean.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.